Hello fellow wardens, this is Jack Lamet with a tutorial on how to mod Dragon Age. I'm going to be covering all three different games. Dragon Age Origin and Dragon Age 2 are pretty much the same, and Dragon Age Inquisition does diverge a little bit. Alright, to start, you need to know where to put your files. So you're going to open up your libraries, go to your documents, this little BioWare. You have Dragon Age, Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Inquisition. So pop that open. You see packages, core, and override. Override is where everything is going to go. And right now it is empty in Dragon Age Origins because this is a fresh install on my new computer. And if we come over to Dragon Age 2, where I finished up my run of Marion Hawk, packages, core, override, exact same place on both, you can see all of my different mods that I have for Dragon Age 2. Alright, so let's go back to my packages, core, override for Dragon Age Origins. And there are two ways to apply mods to Dragon Age Origin. The first way is to just drop them into the override, and I'm going to show you how to do that. This is something I prefer to do because it kind of keeps everything organized. I like to keep my mods sorted by game, so that way I have a better archive. It might take up more space to be able to have mods copied in two different places. Excuse me. But it does help in cases where, for example, you're playing Oblivion and the game needs to be uninstalled, then reinstalled. That way you don't lose all of your mods. I've dealt with that so many times. Alright, so come over to Dragon Age Origin. I have my little archive. I made a shortcut to make it easier for switching over, but right now I just have to because I'm doing a lot of moving. The first way, just dropping into the Origin, copy and paste. It's that simple. Some things, like this more hairstyles, you need to actually copy everything here and drop those right there. This charge in morph file, it is very important. It is probably one of the major files that you run into issues with modding. As you can see, I have right here more hairstyles and vibrant colors, and then under that, vibrant colors and more hairstyles. Compatibility fix. That's because more hairstyles contains this file, and vibrant colors contains this file as well. And whenever I try to move them, I have to replace it, which means this file is now applied to the pineapple tree's vibrant colors, rather than all of these hair mods, which is why I have to come down to here and take that one for the compatibility, copy it, replace it. There you go. Alright. Let's see. Alright. And that is the first setup for putting down some mods. I've just got some simple ones there. You'll be able to see them whenever I create a character quickly. The second type of mod you might run into, generally it's for huge mods that are going to take a lot, such as Dragon Age Redesigned. It is basically an overhaul. This one just kind of changes up how the characters look and all. So For example, I'll be able to change how Liliana looks. And this one is pretty simple. It's just a executable file, and all I have to do is run it. I just click it, and yes, make changes. It's basically like installing any program. Select the version you want to install. They give you little guides on how it looks, stuff like that. I agree. Next. I don't think I have all the mods for that right now anyway. Sometimes mods might not run because they require another mod. The Nexus mod site is very useful in saying, hey, this mod requires this mod. That's usually if a mod is built upon another mod, and usually they're also very good with saying, hey, this mod is not compatible with this mod, and those usually happen because they mess with the same file. That's why, for example, with Dragon Age Inquisition, I can only add one type of hairstyle because it overwrites a specific hairstyle. And because of that, if I apply another mod, it just completely changes the hair. Alright. So right here we have these little DAZips, or Dragon Age zip files. These are very easy to use. All you have to do is go to your install folder for your game. I have it in Origin, but if you have it in Steam, you just go to Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, and you scroll down to Dragon Age. And now I'm just showing off all of the games I have saved on my Steam. In this case, I have it installed in Origin. You don't go to the Origin folder, you go to Origin Games, and you find the install folder, and then you go to bin ship, and you find the Dragon Age updater. Now, one thing I do, again, shortcut, makes it easier, so I don't have to go through all of those steps to get to there. I just have a copy right here. But you click it, and you get this little content updater. I believe this was primarily used for whenever BioWare would release a patch for the game, and you'd have to apply it yourself. So you select the DAZips. All of these DAZips are the promotional stuff, and they're found in the DLC folder for Dragon Age. So I'm going to come over here to my archive. I have Skip the Fade, an extra dog slot. It allows your dog to be summonable, like in Dragon Age 2, or like speaking of dogs, my dog is sneezing, or like a summoned creature if you are playing a ranger. So select, you can even hold control. I don't know what it is on a Mac, but you can hold control on your Windows, and you can multiple select. This Ancient Boots fix, like I was saying before, sometimes mods are not compatible. These do the exact same thing. They're made by the same person. One is only for fixing the issue that the boots for the ancient elven armor not generating in the Chantry wardrobe whenever you turn in the quest reward, and Lothering. So one is for if you are past that point and you get a little file and you click it and it gives you the item, so you don't have to go through the console. The vanilla one I think just fixes the bug, so if you are just starting a brand new game, you can get the armor that way. But you can only have one installed at a time because they work with the same files, they are incompatible, even though they're made by the same person. So I'm going to add my extra dog slot, and I'm going to add Skip the Fade, both very useful. You just select it, install selected. even though this bar is not finished with the saying install, that means it's done, so you can install the next one. Once they are installed, you can close. A fourth, because I just remember the overhaul simple application, can be a batch file. There are a lot less of these. This one fixes the DLC. It allows for DLC armors and so forth that you can pick up within the Origins campaign, such as the Starfang or Kalen's armor, stuff like that. It allows for you to be able to have it in Dragon Age Awakening because for some reason they didn't do that in the first place. And you just click it, batch script automatically runs it, preps it. All you have to do is hit OK, and it runs the whole thing. And I really should not have done that because it has a lot to go through. So we're going to let it just kind of fix that, and it's done. Okay, and it closes on its own. So all very easy. The DAZips, the Dragon Age zips, are usually the hardest because you just got a lot of work to go in and get to the Dragon Age updater. That's again why I created a shortcut file. Dragon Age 2, a lot of it can just be drop in the documents folder in your override over here. I have not run into a lot that require a lot more. I've played Dragon Age 2 a lot less than Dragon Age Origins, so I've not as extensive with that. But really, anything that you run into with those mods are going to be done the same way. And the only difference is there's no Dragon Age updater for Dragon Age 2, I believe. Let's go check. Bin ship. Config, yeah. The config over here is, I believe, where you can... I know for Mass Effect it allows you to force it to accept your previous save in Mass Effect 2 if it's not going through for Mass Effect 1, but Dragon Age 2 doesn't have that issue. Alright, so now that we have those mods in for Dragon Age Origins, let's pop this up and let me show you something that happens. Alright. Now that you're at the main screen, you have this little downloadable content. That's where you're able to see all of the DLC you have, such as Witch Hunt, Awakening, Liliana, so forth. And it also tells you if you have the feast stuff and the other DLC, the promotional stuff. One thing it also does, skip the fade right here. If it is a DAZip that you use, a lot of them have this. Status enabled, created by, so forth, requires the game version, and it gives you some details. This is the closest that Dragon Age Origins has to a mod manager, and I can even turn it off, turn it back on. Sometimes, if you're seeing if a mod is not compatible, you can just come here if it's a DAZip and unenable it, disable it. I have an English stream and I just used unenable. It's also suggested that if you are going to permanently remove a mod, before removing the files, you disable it, and then you save your game. Also make a backup save before removing mods, and before applying mods, just in case there's any issues, so that way if it breaks your game you can easily go back and you won't have the issues I did over the summer where I had to keep respecking my character because she had way too many abilities and that wasn't letting her load into new realms with combat. I don't know, it was weird. I still don't know why. I'm never doing that again. Alright, so new game. Let's go to Origins. As much as I love Duncan, I'm going to have to skip over the whole intro. And if I knew how to edit better, I'd fast forward over this. Alright, backgrounds. Female elf. Let's do a mage again. Okay.
Greetings.
Yeah, that's mine. Alright. So, I put in that hair mod, and as you can see, new hairs. They are added in after the last of the vanilla hair, which that's not one of them. A lot of these hair mods are also used in like Oblivion. I don't know where they came from originally. I think it was Pineapple Tree. And there's all of the hair color. If I did not apply that override, all of these different changes would not be happening. It would either be the new hairs or all of the colors, which that's fine, and that's a weird hair. Okay. Alright. And I can go all the way through the fade to be able to show you that. Alright. That is pretty much how to mod Dragon Age 1, Origins, and Dragon Age 2. What gets more difficult is Dragon Age Inquisition. I said the download section on the main menu of Dragon Age Origin is the closest that it has to a mod manager. You can use the Nexus mod manager again, but it's sometimes awkward. For Dragon Age Inquisition, you have the Dragon Age Suite Loader, which is right here. You can get that on the Nexus as well, and it allows, whenever you start it, you get tools and all. You kind of just have to unpack it, and again, there's all of my DA mods. That is what the mod manager uses. I've not tried using the Nexus for this, but this one is pretty straightforward. You install the Suite Loader, you install the Dragon Age mod manager. It's right here. These are all of the little mods. I can disable it or enable it, and some mods, like my inventory capacity, has a configure, and you have to make sure you save it. Sometimes they get a little bit more in depth, like this one, and you actually have to pull the bar down to see more of it. And that's pretty much it. You do run into some things, like I have this Daenerys save. Somebody created Daenerys Targaryen and applied the face to different builds and profile pictures. What was applied, it's basically just a save, and all you have to do is plop that in your save folder for Dragon Age Inquisition. And that's basically it. Few key points. Remember, generally save before trying out a new mod, so that way if it messes up your game, you can fix it or uninstall it and then boot up your old save that was not affected. And just have fun. And happy gaming.